You can't tame this tiger. Hey, do you have any brown liquor?
For what?
Not for me, for the kids. What kind of babysitter do you think I am?
Yeah. Happy Friday, February 5th, everybody, and it's Friday yet again, so you know what that means. WandaVision came out today, episode 5, sadly only one. Some of you said 2, you liars. Well, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Daniel.
And this is Everyday Nerds. And we're here to break down fully WandaVision episode 5 and everything that happened, and it was a lot.
It felt epic. It was, honestly, it was exciting. We almost had real world consequences, I guess. I don't know what to say, but this is definitely a good episode and a lot to break down. So let's get started, Andrew. Where do we start this one at?
So we start off this episode back in the actual WandaVision show, not the outside stuff. And Wanda and Vision are having trouble putting the kids to sleep, and they're crying. And they're talking about how they need help or they need something the way to do this because Wanda's trying to use powers and stuff because it's not cheating, it's whatever.
Well, she was she didn't get the pacifier. She's trying to put pacifiers in her mouth, and they ended up going in old Vision's ears. It was kind of hilarious, actually. Comical, even. But they can't get the kids to sleep, and then our favorite neighbor shows up in the nick of time to help her put the kids to sleep. She's going to jazzercise.
We're going to do some jazzercise that'll keep you fit and smiling, sugar. Swing that arm. There you go.
Like, I haven't even heard that word before.
Smile, for heaven's sake. Yeah.
It's like doing the squats and rocking the cribs.
It sounded noticeably 80s.
You ready? Now find that beat. There it is. Oh, yeah. That's good. Ho! Now slack, release, contract, release. There you go. Smiling. Now to the pelvis.
Jazzercise.
Front, back. Push it, pull it. Yeah! There you go.
That's our word of the day. This is what it is right here.
Now your favorite thing, the hips, sugar. Come on and shake that cute little booty of yours. Ow! Ha! Yeah! Hup.
And what was odd about this entrance that she made?
It was just, well, it gets weirder when you watch more of the episode. But like as soon as they needed help, she shows up. But when she's there, she kind of messes up the take of the WandaVision show, and she says, do we need to do it again? Do we need to do it from the top? And so she's like aware, not just that she's in Wanda's reality, but she knows it's a show. Because she used like the lingo.
Yeah, that was odd. And Vision's reaction to it was very, very different. He's really starting to see and put everything together that this ain't normal.
It ain't right.
This ain't right. Something's wrong here, guys. I got to put the pause on it. But at any rate, the boys quit crying after Wanda tries to calm him. The boys quit crying. And then we see the boys aged, I'd say 5, right? 5 or 6.
Yeah. You also, I'm just going to point out, he said Wanda, he meant Agnes.
Yeah.
Trying to put him to sleep.
Agnes, but
she sprays them with something. She says it's lavender, but I don't think it necessarily was. Cause
you seem to think that helped make them grow or age.
Because I'll point it out later, but she did that, and then she was looking for a liquid. She said brown liquor, but she's looking in like the cabinet, and then she says, I'm just going to step in this room over here. As soon as she does is when the kids stop crying, and then they go to see why they stopped crying. They're not in the crib, and they're standing behind them, like you said, age 5, age 6. One of them is missing like 4 teeth in the front. Wild. They just aged in minutes.
And then we get to the lovely, lovely song. And, the new intro for this episode. And it was cool. It felt 80s again. Them singing a song and the painting.
Be sure to listen to the words in the song because it was interesting. I sat there and listened to it when we rewatched just a few parts. And it's just very, like, it kind of breaks down what's going on. Just in the form of a song. I thought it was interesting.
And so then we're back in reality outside of the anomaly. We're going to call it the hex from now on. Now we're seeing Rambo being brain scanned, and she's had some blood work done, and she's, being debriefed a little bit. But there's a problem. The brain scans don't show anything on her brain. So she's got something still affecting her brain, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. But the blood work needed to be redone too. We didn't resolve that because she just said no.
Yeah,
but
she knew it would be the exact same thing.
Yeah, so anyways, we get to the actual meeting where everybody's there and they're doing an intel meeting. And what's the guy's name that's in charge of this place? Because I like him.
Director Hayward. And so he was basically saying, like, because Randall Park's character, Jimmy Woo, he's saying how, like,
he's trying to be so nice.
He's like, well, she became an Avenger after she gained their trust. But he's like saying how she kind of doesn't help. Like, she's helped, but she's kind of messed up a lot of stuff too. Like the airport and in Lagos, Nigeria, when, that building went boom.
Well, I will say that was not, that might have been looked at as her fault, but she's trying to save the people at the bottom.
Well, I get what,
people that...
It makes sense what she was doing.
People, it was an accident,
But how the government would look at that, just like this.
And which started Civil War, so, it is what it is. We can tell that he does not have a favorable disposition of her. He already doesn't think she's trustworthy and is a bad person.
Yeah.
So that's going to really dictate how they're going to handle this situation going forward. And we know that it's going to come to military conflict with them because you can tell. On a brighter note, we do have a better understanding on what's happening in the Hex, I think a little bit. Next, we had the boys get a dog. Is that right? Yeah. So that's the next thing that happened. That was cool.
Did it ever make clear if his name was Sparky or...
I don't think we got a chance to see that.
I feel like it was Sparky, but...
I feel like it's Sparky, but I'd like to point out, and this is something that I can't believe we failed to point this out in past episodes, but they're going to keep the dog, and guess who shows up with a dog carriage? Dog
Agatha Harkness.
Agnes.
We don't know if she's Agatha Harkness yet.
We're hoping she is, but
It's like... Come on, man.
Yeah, I know, right? Marvel, don't do this to us. We don't want to be teased. But in every single episode when they've needed something, she's popped through. And, it's actually a role in a lot of TV shows that you have that neighbor. But, I just really didn't realize that that's really just her role. She's always going to be there to help them out when they need something. So
almost like a mentor?
Almost. We'll see. But Vision's really getting freaked out by this point because what happened was they said they couldn't...
Well, I think you missed something really big here.
The changing for the collar? I was about to get into that.
No.
Okay, what?
So, when they get the dog out first, they're saying please, and Vision says, well, you're not old enough. So Vision says that they're not old enough for a dog yet, and that they can get a dog when they're 10. And then, guess what happens?
They turn 10.
Ho, 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 it's magic,
Just like that in front of Agatha.
That's like 3, 2. That's 2.
2-time jump.
How many birthdays in one day?
They got a lot of toys.
And in the intro, I don't know if this will be on screen or not because, Disney's kind of copyright dogs in the first few days. But they have a birthday candle little scene, and it goes immediately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I noticed that back watching it again.
One thing that we saw, though, and Andrew, this is kind of what your theory might be. I'm thinking that the boys are just aging themselves on, they're doing it to themselves. But you notice both times they aged up.
Agatha's there.
So what's the deal with that?
Well, there's 2 big theories it could be. I think you're in agreement with one of them. One of them it interests you because it's very possible. Agnes might be doing it because she's been around both times that aged up. She wasn't there when they were born, but when they were going up in age, she was there both times. She brought them something both times. One time it was the doghouse, one time it was the lavender, and she was looking for the bottle. So maybe she's doing it. And the second time, though, they did it right in front of her, and she just acted oblivious for them.
And what freaked Vision out was, well, when I think they decided on Sparky, and she makes a collar for him right then and there, and Vision freaks out about it because Agnes is right there, and he is, Wanda is becoming more and more loose with showing powers and doing weird stuff in front of these people, which is a little disconcerting, but that's what's going on. And, they're fighting about it a little bit at that point in time.
Yeah.
Now, the next big scene we get is we have Rambo discovering something because apparently they know a list of what her powers are on the outside. And Rambo is telling them she's manipulating matter. And they don't believe it. So they go back and they look at her clothes that she was wearing when she left the Hex. And the thing is, she was wearing a bulletproof vest when she went in.
And pants.
And pants. But her bulletproof vest kind of turned into her pants part kind of thing. So the pants are like 70% Kevlar.
87.
Oh, 87, even better. But they shot him and the pants are bulletproof. So now we know, or they know, that she's manipulating matter, which is a power that they did not know she had or has ever showed. So it's got some questions for them and us as well. But we've kind of already figured out that they were manipulating matter.
We also we totally blew past this because it showed it and it was just kind of insignificant. But when they're doing the briefing, we did see Wanda go and get Vision's body. Or what they told us was Wanda going to get Vision's body. Could be manipulated and Agatha setting all this up, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But we did see a video of her breaking in, and the doors we saw in the, Sword headquarters last episode.
Yes.
We see her, throw them.
I'd just like to point out that this is confirmation about she's reanimated his corpse. And
I think they even said that, kind of.
We've talked about that, but now we pretty much 100% know that's what's going on, and it makes it a lot more creepy. It just really does. But guys,
that meatless meat puppet.
But anyways, there's another scene right after that, which is very disconcerting because now they've decided to send another drone in, and this time it doesn't really change. I don't know what they did to make it not change.
They said they were going to send something in that it wouldn't need to change its matter, so they figured that out somehow, even though it was modern?
It looked modern.
I didn't really understand
I didn't get it.
But as soon as it went in, she knew.
She knew. It made a noise. And, the boys and Wanda go outside. It stares her down. Rambo tries to talk to her, but we don't hear a signal back from it. And so our favorite new government villain, Mr. Hayward, he decides to shoot at it. And we think
shoot at her,
and we don't see what happens, but we think the dog was caught in the crossfire. And,
Well, we do see what happens in Wanda's point of view. Her eyes turn red, and the only time I think we've seen that, I think it was Endgame, when she was fighting Thanos. I think that's the only other time we actually saw her eyes go red. Because it's normally just her hands. Maybe in the Winter Soldier, after seeing credits, she might have had her eyes red. I can't really remember that. That might be the only other time, because that's when she was evil, and she and then in Age of Ultron early on, when she's doing the stuff, her eyes are red. But besides that, only when she's doing, evil things have we seen her eyes turn red. And now they're red again.
Well, she tosses their little... She actually comes out of the Hex and tosses her little toy.
And she's in her suit.
And she's normal clothes. She tosses the toy back at them and basically tells them to leave her alone or it will not be nice next time they come in. This is their one warning. And you find out in this episode, and I can't believe we didn't cover it, but we haven't seen but 10 or 15 different people in this show. But there are thousands, they said, of people.
Well, I don't know if they're counting the people just in the bubble or if they're counting all the people that she's erased the town from their minds around. Yeah. There's a 5-mile radius, I think it says, on one of the boards of that's who's been wiped of the town memory.
There are a lot of people inside this place. And
so after she comes out, she gives them a warning. She has all of the sword gunmen turn their guns to Hayward. And Monica Rambeau goes, hey, you know I was coming in. You know I'm an ally of some sort. You let me help you with your babies. And she just kind of blew it off. And then she says, leave me alone or something again. She goes back into the bubble, the hex, and she makes it red. So Daniel thinks reinforcing.
I think she's reinforcing it. I don't think she created it, and we'll get to that here later. But I think she's definitely reinforced it to where it's going to be much harder for them to penetrate it.
I feel like she just took over it. Like, I don't
Maybe
think she was
took it over.
necessarily in full control, because she even kind of has alluded to that some. But I think she's just really making it to where it's her power in control now. So now, because something big happens right after she's in control, almost pretty fast. But we go to Vision in his work, and he's just sitting there. They get computers, but they're old 80s computers, so it's just binary and stuff.
All the 80s computer jokes that you could imagine.
Yeah.
Just cheesy and corny.
But a message pops up on the screen.
Is it Help Me Wanda?
No.
Oh.
But it's saying all the citizens are being held hostage and all that crap. And then Vision goes up to his work buddy, whose name I can't remember. And he does the thing he did with his hands to Ultron to take him out of the internet. But he puts his hands like right here, taps him, and then he breaks out of Wanda's mind control. And he says, I need to reach my sister. My dad's sick. It's been, I don't know how long. What day is it? He's freaking out. And Vision can't get him to talk, so he puts him back.
Yeah, and a couple of the things he pointed out was it's painful, which is what Rambo was saying earlier on. We didn't talk about that, but it's not pleasant. It's kind of like they know what they're doing, but they're not in control of what they're doing. They are playing along, and it's got Wanda's voice in their heads.
We saw what it did in Avengers Age of Ultron.
You're a destroyer, Odinson.
One thing that Andrew was wondering about is we kind of assumed this was a power of the Mind Stone, and since the Mind Stone's not there anymore,
yeah,
is this a Mind Stone? Has the Mind Stone been recreated? I know in a trailer that we'd watched, we saw the Mind Stone look like it came back together. Did Wanda have the power to recreate the Mind Stone and put it there for Vision? I don't know. It's a question that we have going forward, though, and it might have happened. But anyways, it's a power that we think he has now. Like, he's still got his full set of powers, it looks like.
Yeah.
But that's a Mind Stone power. At least we're pretty sure that's a Mind Stone power. It could just be, him having the body that he has. He's got weird powers anyways.
Yeah.
So after that, now we get to the sad scene of the dogs.
Yeah, so Vision kind of rushes home from work. So it cuts to Agnes, and she has the dog Sparky wrapped up because he's passed away. And it never really showed us how he died. That's why I do believe the drone killed it, because they did shoot that shot. We don't know what happened, what it hit. But she's got the dog wrapped up, so Agnes is coming to the help again for the kids' sake.
Yeah.
Specifically for the kids, though. But she's got it wrapped up, and the kids are saying, Mom, bring it back to life. You can do it. So it makes me question if they know, about Vision.
They might see Vision's corpse.
Daniel did say he feels like they are aware that something's wrong. But I don't think they really know, because they've never been outside the hex.
Right, but I think they know that things can be controlled here, and I think they know their mom is the one that can control the things. But, just such little screen time for them, and, we really don't know what they know and what they don't know.
10 years in a day is a lot.
Yeah, man. 10 years in one day. Good Lord, they'll be hitting retirement in 4 days. They'll be retired with families of their own.
Yeah.
But, they were crying, and the thing that struck me, though, was they were very sad. Wanda wouldn't bring the puppy back to life, and she says, don't you age out. Meaning she figured meaning they were about to, age up to, 13 or 14, maybe, because they'd be old enough to deal with the pain of losing a dog, maybe. But she stopped them and told them no, and that they have to learn. She basically told him a lesson that she needs to learn herself, But
Yeah.
apparently she's better at giving the advice than she is at.
And the kid said some very important words that she took to heart, which we'll talk about. But they were like, you can do whatever you want. You can bring him back to life. Do it, Mom. Do it. And I think that hit her to where she's like, you're right, but it wasn't about Sparky. We'll get into that in a little bit. But Vision comes home from work, sees the dogs dead, but then they go back to the house, and as they go inside, Vision's like, alright, what's up? He confronts her.
Oh, man.
He grew a pair.
Now that we're men, we can do anything.
This is like, we're thinking this is going to be like World War III. Vision's finally angry. He's understanding a couple things. He gets home, makes a funny joke about it's not often you have to bury a dog the same day you get it. But then he's like, he knows something's wrong. He knows she says, let's go watch some TV, and they go to sleep, and she changes the house up, and it's a new decade, and everything's new. And he knows it now. He knows it. He knows based off what he saw at work. He knows she's controlling this hex world, and he is not happy about it. And trying to confront her, she rolls the credits, but he doesn't let her get away. They go to the living room. They about come to blows, and she says, they say a lot in this conversation, but one of the things that gets me the most is she says, "You've never talked to me this way," and he can't remember anything about before now.
No. He said he was scared.
Yeah, so it's like he knows who he is. He knows what he can do. He knows so much. He even seems to know about email and other stuff like that he knows he's in the 80s, but like he knows of the future kind of deal.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's scared, like Andrew pointed out, and she's trying to keep the family together, and he wants answers that she's not given.
So one thing that really stuck out to me in that whole conversation, though, was like, Vision says, you can't control me like them. And she says, but can't I? And I was like, dang.
She has been controlling him some, but not
I think
always.
she is. Like.
Well, we saw
it's
the
weird.
rewind. We saw the rewind that happened in the first episode, and we've seen, especially after the babies were born, he was really freaked out. But they just was like, let's come watch TV. So maybe she can to a point, but like I think the more aware he gets, I think the more she can't.
Yeah.
So I'd like to point that out. If he's docile about it, yeah, she can control him. But also, she pointed out something that's very important, and that he knows what place they're in, and I think he knows they can't leave it, or she's wanting him to stay there. But she also points out that she didn't start this, and I believe her.
Yeah.
So she didn't start the hex, which is the most important piece of information I think we really got today, is she didn't start it, but now she's aware of it, and she's in control. And she's not giving up control. Like, if you saw her outside the hex when she threw the drone at him and gave him that warning, she's lost it. She is...
I don't think she's lost it. I think she just realizes she can make up for everything she has lost.
Yeah, but, she has to understand that she's affecting the lives of the people. It'd be one thing...
I don't think she cares. She saved the world.
I think it'd be one thing if she'd just kick everybody out and just live in that little spot with Vision forever. But,
I think that's what Vision wants her to do, honestly.
Well,
just based on the way he says that you're hurting them or whatever.
Yeah, well, Vision's got a heart. That's the one thing about Vision. He's got a...
The fake man has more of a heart than the real girl.
I mean, seriously, though, Vision's always cared about humanity. And, he would never hurt a fly.
Yeah.
He'd probably make it go away.
He just hurt a war machine.
Oh, gosh. That's too... If he only had the super...
Were you about to say too soon?
I was about to say too soon, Still not over that.
But...
If he'd had the super speed, that wouldn't happen. He could have just called him, but he didn't have it then.
But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to interrupt you. Just like something interrupted their conversation. And it was a doorbell.
Oh, ding, ding.
And he looked at her, and she said, that wasn't me. And he said, well, I'm ignoring every statistic right now, and I'd like to believe you, but I can't, whatever, however he said it. And then she rings again, and she goes to answer the door. And it shows you the haircut from the back. And you're like, oh, you know who this is. It's Pietro from Age of Ultron. But then it's not. And it's Evan Peters Quicksilver from the Fox X-Men movies that we loved so much. Yeah.
Well, I will say this. He has always been the best part of all
easily.
those movies.
Those two scenes are great.
But anyways, this brings me to my favorite point about this. And it's my theory. It's a little bit of a working theory. But I think he got pulled from his reality into the Hex. When they were fighting, when they were standing up about to fight, I think she somehow magically did it. I think he is from that X-Men universe, and that's his Earth and everything. He got pulled here, and now that he's here, he's kind of being mind-washed a little bit. Because you remember in the X-Men movies, when we first meet him in First Class, his sister, he's the older brother, and she's a younger sister in that by a good bit. So it's just going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I think this is how we get the X-Men. As they get pulled from their reality to this reality right here. You've heard it first from me. This is how this is happening. Do you have any other theories about it?
I don't think they'd want to mess with their Fox X-Men movies because lately they've just been doing bad and they're poor. I think they'd want to make their own X-Men movies. So I think that him coming over might be how they start it somehow. Or how they get knowledge. Something's gonna. There's something here with him.
I think they're gonna get the good ones that everybody likes.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think they don't. They want to do their own thing. That's how they always are. Like even with Hulk, they didn't want to mess with the old Hulk.
I know,
movie.
but it's just really, really hard to just. I mean, they're gonna have to figure out how to get X-Men here.
Yeah. Well, I think they're gonna make them. And I did that video about it because I feel like that she's gonna make them. By activating the mutant gene somehow. There's multiple ways it could happen. I mean, they just had the blip. Thanks. You know who you are. But they also had, like, I'm saying she might, like, get pissed and blow this hex everywhere accidentally. And the radiation from that is going to go everywhere. And that hitting with the blip energy. And then her powers along with that as it carries it. All that combination of stuff that's happened recently can just, like, make it happen. I think personally that would be the thing to do it if they're gonna do their own thing and they're bringing them in soon. I think that's the way to go about it. I mean, it makes sense.
Well, what else we got for this episode? Kind of a cliffhanger. We really thought we were getting 2 episodes tonight because of the internet.
Yeah,
but
thanks internet.
But
this
we're
is why
not.
We can't have nice things.
We're just getting this 1 episode, and it left us on a cliffhanger. It's my favorite episode by far so far, and I'm giving it a 10. Yeah.
You serious?
Perfect episode.
I liked it. It was a very good episode, and it kept me engaged and the whole episode, and it left me on a cliffhanger. The only thing that's sad about it that really upset me was the fact we didn't get a second one right away. I thought we were, and we didn't. And
the next one's a Halloween episode.
And we got to wait a week. Guys, we have to wait a week. I can't take it. I can't take it, man.
Give me a second. I'm going to just make sure it hasn't popped up.
1 hour later.
Yep, we're waiting a week, guys.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Thanks, internet. But since we're not getting episode 6, I think I'm going to give this an 8 or 9 out of 10.
8 or 9, huh? So an 8.5?
I guess. I just felt like some of the acting wasn't necessarily there. I don't know, it just felt a little different. And when she went outside the bubble and she was talking, her accent was there, but it's never there in the rest of the show. Like, I don't know, it kind of confused me. That might be intentional.
It was very intentional because...
But it was just weird. I just think, like, for the WandaVision content itself, like, not like the show, but like Wanda's show, I feel like this was kind of like one of my least favorite things for that show itself. Like, but everything else going on and her going outside the bubble was great. That actually really helped the episode, in my opinion. But I just felt like it was kind of just weird. Like, it's just off. It was odd. It wasn't like it's been. And I mean, that's kind of because her reality is caving in because Vision's finding out the kids are shooting up in age. I don't know. I just was weird, I thought.
I think next week's episode is the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Tell us if you're excited about it, though, because we are. That's the episode I'm looking forward to the most. Let us know in the comments if you think I'm right, or if you think Andrew's right, or if you think it's totally something else. And tell us what you think of this episode. We'd like to hear your feedback. Is it a good episode? Is it a bad episode?
While you're down there in the comments, be sure to hit that like button, right? And be sure to smash that subscribe, because then you'll hopefully get to see some of our content as we post it. But if you want to make sure you see it, make sure to punch that bell. It tells you every time we post new videos. It'll give you a notification on your phone. You can just tap right there. And if you're on a computer, there's a little bell icon up at the top. Just click that, and our content will be right there. So it's a great way to find our content, and it's a great way to help us grow. So we really enjoy all of you that do that. But if not, that's okay.
Yeah. Andrew, you can't tame this tiger.
Jesus. Well, I think that's going to do it for us today, because Daniel's losing it.
Yeah, I'm about to start bending reality myself, guys.
Yeah. But until next time, I guess, peace out.
Later, homies.
Now your favorite thing, the hip sugar. Come on and shake that cute little booty of yours. Ow!